Okay, so I just wanted to briefly go over a couple of things that some of you had questions about from your homework on section 1.1. Two little tricks that I think will help you get everything done. First off, suppose you have something like this. X plus 3 over 2 plus x minus 1 over 3 equals 2, which is similar to a lot of the homework problems that you had to solve towards the end of section 1.1. And algebraically, essentially it boils down to what causes the problem. We know the addition property, we know the multiplication property, we know we can distribute, we can combine like terms. What makes this one different? In this case, it's the fact that there's fractions, the 2 and the 3 denominators floating around. They cause the problem, so that's what we're going to deal with. So, the trick essentially, all of you have worked with fractions before, and you know how to find the common denominator. Find the common denominator, the LCM, the GCD, whatever you want to call it. In this case, look at all your denominators. Our denominators are 2 and 3. The LCM would be 6. Multiply by 6. And when you multiply by 6, multiply everything by 6. All three terms, meaning put everything in parentheses and multiply by 6. One trick here that will make this easier, these numerators, x plus 3 and x minus 1, forget about them. They just kind of carry along in the problem, so don't worry about them. Put them in their own little set of parentheses and deal with them later. So, when you do this out, if you understand what you're doing and once you practice it, you can skip a few steps and kind of cancel and reduce as you go in your head. For right now, I'll write out every step just so we can see it. So, when we start, multiply. Here we get 6, leave the x plus 3 in parentheses, over 2, plus 6 times x minus 1 over 3, equals, and this is the one thing that people tend to forget, everything gets multiplied by 6, even the things that aren't fractions. So we get 6 times 2, which is 12. Now, reduce your fractions. Assuming you do this right, it has to work, the fractions have to go away. In this case, we get 6 over 2, which is 3, times x plus 3, plus 6 over 3, which is 2, times x minus 1, equals 12. Now we got rid of the fractions. Now this is right back to the other problems we've already solved. Distribute, combine like terms, solve for x, all of that. So really quickly, just to get the answer, 3 times x is 3x, plus 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 times x is 2x, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, equals 12. 3x plus 2x is 5x, 9 minus 2 is positive 7, subtract the 7. 5x equals 12 minus 7, which is 5, divide the 5. X equals 1, and you're done. All this you already know how to do, we've already covered it. This is the one new trick. If you have fractions, it's called clearing fractions, multiply by the LCM, and you're done. Really quickly, just to look at one, we won't take the time to solve them all out, but we can at least set up one or two, just to make sure we understand the trick. So, suppose you have x over 5 minus x plus 4 over 3 equals 1. Same idea. I still have fractions, so find the LCM. I have a 5 and a 3, the LCM is 15, so multiply by 15. Put everything in parentheses. And now, again, once you know what you're doing, you can multiply and cancel all out and simplify all in one step. But to write it out long form, 15 times x is 15x over 5. Here we'll put this in parentheses. So we get 15 times x plus 4 over 3 equals 15 times 1, 15. Now simplify. 15 over 5 is 3, so that's 3x. Don't forget your negative. 15 over 3 is 5 times x plus 4 equals 15. I'll stop right there because we all know how to go from there. Same thing. Distribute. Make sure you distribute your negative in right here. Combine like terms, solve for x, and you're done. That's the first trick. There's one more little algebraic trick. that we can use for some of your other homework and that we'll see throughout the semester, so it's good to go over it right now. Suppose I have this. 2 times x minus a equals 3 times x minus 2. I want to solve that for x. Distribute first, just like always. 2 times x is 2x, minus 2 times a is 2a, equals 3 times x is 3x, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Here we have two variables floating around, x's and a's. It doesn't matter. I care about solving for x, so solve for x. Isolate x. Subtract the 3x over. 2x minus 3x is negative x. That's an a, so add it to the right. And you'll get negative 6 plus 2a. The fact that this isn't a number doesn't matter. We just want to get x by itself. Sometimes we won't get a number, we'll get an expression. This is an x, it's negative x, so divide by negative 1 to get rid of the negative. Whatever we divide on the left, we divide on the right. These negatives cancel, and we get x equals negative 6 divided by negative 1, which is positive 6. 2a divided by negative 1 is negative 2a. And that's my answer. It's not a number, that's completely fine. Some of the work we do to kind of practice our algebra, we'll get expressions like this. It's not a big deal. One more. Maybe we'll change this one up a little bit for fun. Say we have a times x minus 2 equals 3 times x minus 1. We still have an a and an x floating around, but we have parentheses, so do exactly what we did before. Distribute. A times x is ax, a times negative 2 is negative 2a, equals 3 times x, 3x, 3 times negative 1, negative 3. Now let's see. We want to solve for x, bring all the x's to one side, all the constants to the other. I'll subtract the 3x on both sides. Ax minus 3x, you can't combine a and 3, so just write ax minus 3x minus 2a equals minus 3. We have the x's on the left. This 2a term, or negative 2a term, is not an x, so add it to the right. And we get ax minus 3x equals negative 3 plus 2a. Now we need one more trick, and this is actually a very useful algebraic trick that we'll use throughout the semester. Here we have ax minus 3x. We're solving for x, but we can't combine a and negative 3. So we get to do another trick that if you ever solved quadratics and learned factoring, we essentially do that. Find the common factor here. In this case, this has an x and this has an x. Factor it out in front. And we'll get x times a minus 3 equals minus 3 plus 2a. All we did was take the common x, bring it out in front, and we were left with a minus 3. But now, again, if you remember your factoring, this is x times a minus 3. So we just have to get rid of a minus 3. So divide by it. And now we're done. We get x equals negative 3 plus 2a all over a minus 3. Again, it's an expression. It's kind of a big messed up expression. It doesn't really matter. Right now, we're not necessarily solving problems. We're just practicing our algebra. And this trick is a very useful one that we will use later on in the semester to solve more complex problems. So we want to understand this idea. If you have several x terms and you can't combine them, group them all together and then factor out the common x. We'll see it later on when we start solving exponentials and logarithmic equations. So I hope that answers your questions from the homework, both this and solving algebraic equations with fractions in them. If you have any other questions, just email me, let me know, and we'll go from there.